This video is sponsored by DistroKid, the easiest way to upload your music as an independent artist. DistroKid is a music distribution company. You give your music to them, they push it out to all the online stores and streaming sites around the world. Release as much music as you want to, starting at $22.99 a year, and we have a link in the description box which will give you 7% off your first annual membership with them. There's an iOS and Android app so you can upload and keep a check on your stats. You can make promo cards, there's a hyperfollow page, which is a web page for every release you do, and so much more. Releasing and managing your music both on web and mobile has never been easier. Thank you very much to DistroKid for sponsoring this video. Click the link in the description box and start distributing your music today. The RC-600 can record, play, overdub, undo, redo, stop, and clear. They're the 7 things you can do with a loop without adding any effects. And I've just been challenged to change my RC-600 to just play and stop, and I think I'm falling in love with this setup. Hey, what's going on? It's JP. Welcome to the channel. If you've never been here before and you want to learn all about looping, live streaming, and all the tools you need for the modern musician, then have a look around the channel and click subscribe. Then you'll know when the next video is out. Now you're going to need to bear with me on this one. I've made quite a bit of change, and it's all thanks to one comment. Now I've brought the comment up so I can read it. Hi John, thanks for the great how-tos on the RC-600. Do you know if it's possible to set all 6 loops together on mode 1? Yes, it is. And also have the function of record, play, stop on every pedal, meaning that you press record once and then play, and then you can just stop it without having to double tap. They say mean like the record function should only be active when the track is empty, otherwise it's just play stop. Thanks for all the best information from Soren in Denmark. Well, Soren, I'm going to blow your mind with this one because yes, you can, and I've taken it one stage further. But before we get into that, let me explain. On the RC-600, I've got a load of pedals, and I've covered what it says because these pedal toppers are awesome. I'll leave a video for that. Now, normally this is set up like this. This is track 1, and you use the first pedal to record, play, and overdub, and then you've got stop and clear on the second pedal, and that is duplicated with track 2, track 3. Then you go into mode 2, and then that's track 4, 5, and 6. It's actually written here on the metal to show you tracks 1, 2, 3, tracks 4, 5, 6. However, there's a lot of different customization on the RC-600, and this one is an absolute doozy because the downside of the default setup is to get to tracks 4, 5, and 6, you have to change modes. That's what this pedal is for. So therefore, if it's in white, you're on mode 1. If you're in red, you're on mode 2, and then you get access to pedals 4, 5, and 6. And then there is a third mode, which is actually track effects and input effects. What I've done is I've changed this over so all of these 6 on mode 1 are the 6 loops. So track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4, track 5, and track 6. Just think of each one of these coloured pedals is a different track, going from track 1 through to track 6. Its function on mode 1 is record and then go into play or stop. Let me give you an example of that. So as you can see, it just goes into play. I can press it once, it stops. I can press it once again, and it plays. However, if the track is empty, aka blue, the first thing will happen is you press it, it will record. And then as I press it again, about time because I'm not listening to it, you can now see it goes into play mode. I can stop it, and then I can hold it down, and then that will clear it. It'll just clear that loop. There is no overdub in this scenario, but I've made one. So let me just erase this loop, and now mode 2 is completely useless. There's no point having it because everything you need is on mode 1 apart from overdubbing. So what I've done is I've changed mode 2 over, again, tracks 1 to 6, but it's just onto record and play. The reason for that is this is your overdub mode. Mode 3 I've left the same, which is actually input effects and track effects, but for me I've changed it because these 4 are my input effects and these 4 are my track effects. So other than obviously helping Soren out, why have I done this? Well, it actually makes you rethink about overdubbing and maybe the overuse of overdubbing. You can overdub by going over to mode 2, but it's almost like a mental deterrent. By staying on mode 1 to record a phrase and then play it and stop it, and that's it, and you've got 6 of them, you can start splitting things up. Now I know not everyone does beatboxing and you use the rhythm section, and that's fine, but let's say I want to split the parts of my beatbox up. You're going to hear the microphone that's actually against the camera, and I've got the microphone here on the RC-600. I'm going to fleet between the two and cause myself a pain in editing. So I'm going to I put a hi-hat down, then I do a kick and a snare, and then I'm going to make some sort of like warbly noise, all to do with the beatboxing. Okay, so we've now got track 1, we've got track 2, we've got track 3. I don't even know what that was, I'm popping a load of balloons. But here's the idea, I can just press this for play and stop, I don't have to double tap for stop, so I can... And I've got the all start stop there as well. I can just press once on track 2, and then press again. And I've still got 3 tracks left for guitar, for bass. So let's add that bass back in. So 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. As I said, that's my bass. So let's go. Bringing them back in. Let's bring that poppy balloon noise in. Now, I'm going to take it one stage further. That last track of me going, oh, I want to actually overdub on that. I know I do, but I've got these all separate. So what do? So this is where we go to mode 2. So mode 2, if I press this, we go red. We're now in mode 2. So if I press this now, it'll play. That's fine. However, now if I press it again, I can record over the top. So we're now in overdub mode. So then it went to overdub mode. So let's go back over to mode 1. Let's just press all start stop. I'm then going to go to mode 2, and then I'm going to overdub. This is awesome. I want to take you through it. I've also got this available if you want to purchase it. It's going to be on my website. There's a link underneath this video. But if you want to step through and do this and build this yourself, obviously that will cost you nothing. For those who just want to grab a copy of this and go, then I've got that available for you. So what I've done is I've blanked that track out completely. I want to show you how this is built. So I'm going to press on menu. We're going to go across one, and everything we're doing is right here. So we're going to go into Control Funk. We're going to start with mode 1. You've got to remember while you're doing this what light this is on. This is on the white light, which means it's mode 1. So mode 1, we're going to go into it, pedal 1, and we change this over to be play/stop 3. Now the reason for 3 is because if you go to number 1, the very first one for play stop, it's just playing stop, and that's fine, but you don't actually have a way to either undo or clear. So undo, clear is hold. So if I actually have that whether it's playing or stopping, I can hold it down and basically get rid of it. That's track 1. Track 1 is play stop 3. Now this is where it gets real simple, because track 2 is play stop 3 but for track 2. Track 3 is play stop 3 for track 3. It's exactly the same all the way through. So if I go to track 4, it's the same. Go to track 5, it's the same. Go to track 6, it's the same. Pedal 7 is our pedal mode increase, but I've changed it from the default, which actually you just press it as opposed to holding it down. If you haven't done that yet, check out that quick video. I'll show you how to do that. And then pedal 8 is my input effects B, which is my bass. And then you've got pedal 9, which is all start stop 2, which is what you normally have as the default. So that's mode 1. Mode 2, you've got a couple of options. And this is actually down to whether you want to undo the last recording or not. Just for simplicity, I've left this as record play 1. So what I'm going to do with all of these, I'm just going to change it over to record play 2. And the reason for this is so if you make a mistake, you can undo it. Okay? And I'm going to do this for you now. So pedal 2, track 2, record play 2. Pedal 3, we're going to go record play 2. Had to think about that then. Pedal 4, record play 2. Pedal 5, record play 2. And then pedal 6 is record play 2. That means that you can record, aka overdub, because you're doing this on mode 2 anyway. You could start with this. This is no different than actually having all 6 tracks. I did that, which was called single mode, where you had all 6 tracks on it. But the downside of that is you've got to double tap to stop, which can be a bit cumbersome, certainly if you go bang bang and you do that in the wrong timing and it feels a bit weird. So this is on mode 2, so it's not kind of the primary, as it were. So we're going to get out of there now. Pedal 7 again is your pedal mode increase. Pedal 8 is my rhythm start stop, so it'll literally start and stop the rhythm. And then pedal 9, and this is all on mode 2, is all start stop 2. Again, all start stop, and you can hold it down to clear it as well. Now, I've discussed this in a previous video, that out of the box, these 3 are the input effects A, B, and C, and these are the track effects A, B, and C. I've changed mine so it's A, B, C, and D, and then I've got A, B, C, and D on mode 3. So for each one, I've got track effects going through, so you can put a lot of different effects on, which are both for track and also for input. So now what we're going to do is click exit and enter, and we're going to write that to the memory, which is called play/stop. I am really, really liking this setup, and the reason for it is, one, it stops you overdubbing. A lot of people add things and maybe add too much, and it makes you think about the structure and where you're going to go with it. The other thing I like as well is we can just turn things off really quickly just with a one button. So it's a one button press for turning that loop off. However, should you wish to do an overdub, it's more thoughtful, because then you know you have to go up to the second mode to do that overdub and then press that twice to go back to the first mode to then get back to where you were. But this means you can actually do some really clever things. For example, you could then obviously drop things out for a breakdown. You've still got your all start stop. For me personally, I've got an expression pedal that's tied to the volume of the loops, not the volume of the output. Therefore, I can drop all that out if I need to. So I could drop it out, bash these 3, bring that back in, and then I don't have any drums or beatboxing. And then I can start bringing in casually if I need to, without the kick and the snare, maybe the hi-hat first, or maybe just bring in a harmony. Now, I've done loads of videos about the RC-600, which I absolutely love. And because of that, I actually made an entire RC-600 course. It's got over 55 videos that are not on YouTube and go from the very, very beginning to some really, really advanced setups, including routing, MIDI, USB, customization, the works. So if you're going to grab that course, there's a link in the description box, and just because you've watched this far, put the words play stop all as one word, PLAYSTOP, and you're going to get a little cheeky discount, and that's because you've watched this video for this long. Now, if you want to see all the videos I've done for the RC-600, there's a playlist that's coming up right now. That's the playlist, and then the other thing that's coming up is the link to that course with that cheeky discount added on. Go and click it and see how much you're going to get.